Do we want to see our older statesmen in hip-hop beefing, playing online antics? Let's talk about it. This is Fresh Hip-Hop Opinion with your guy Olize. Don't forget to subscribe. So yes, people, our older statesmen who are in their 40s and 50s in hip-hop, playing these online games, these antics. You know who I'm talking about. There's been multiple examples. But recently, Fat Joe and Joe Budden have been exchanging words. And I believe this will probably escalate into more words. If you don't know the story, Fat Joe and Jadakiss have a podcast, and Fat Joe randomly, well, probably planned, but it seemed randomly went at Joe Budden, speaking about Joe and 50 Cent issues, where Joe Budden was sitting behind Fat Joe and 50 at a recent Knicks game, and Joe started talking about Joe Budden's pockets. Check out the clip.
I'm not going 10th row. I'm not going 5th row. I gotta be front row.
So you want all the
Cause somebody you don't like, your enemy, gonna come sit right at, you know, we call that the Joe Budden seats. You know, them second row, them second, third row, I can't do it. I gotta sit front row. I'll give you my experience.
What do you call them seats?
The Joe Budden seats, them second row. You know, perfect example. Him and 50 got some, and I'm sitting courtside, and 50 comes
He was
sit.
right behind y'all.
Okay, but he's behind us.
Those were still considered floor seats.
Those
if you
are
know
great.
anything.
Listen,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's AA and BB.
I'm not
He
trying
was
to be
in-
disrespectful, but the man had a little something going on with 50, and why God put 50 Cent front row, and he's in like third row. Like, that would bother me if I was Joe Budden's. It happened to me before. It happened to me before. When we
Now,
just
listen,
squashed
if he
the
didn't bump in the 5th, would he had a nice
You
experience?
got a
at-
good seat, but the problem is you gotta always expect the enemy might come front row.
Yeah, fam, and Joe Budden didn't waste any time. He did what Joe Budden does. He went on his platform and responded.
There's nothing to even fight about here. We're talking about a game where the tickets were the most expensive Knick playoff tickets in franchise history.
Y'all argue about
Secondly, the internet is not like a real place. I would expect Fat Joe to know that. I need more than internet fodder to ever assume that there's really beef with somebody. Me and 50 have over 20 years in. I never thought that would escalate. And if I feel like that, I just need more than some internet chat for me to feel like that. But if I'm at the Knicks game, it's just because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not there for the vanity play. I'm not there for the celeb role. I'm not there to be seen. I'm not in the record label seats. I'm not in the Kith seats. I'm not in the comp seats. I'm in the seat that I wanted to purchase, so I bought it. It's really just that simple. I'm not with all the extra hoopla out there. I'm not out here running around moving with the leverage of my management company or trying to be buddy-buddy or friendly with rappers that I'm not really buddy-buddy or friendly with. I'm the walking embodiment of standing on my own too. And you know that, which is why you're using my name on your newly established platform, trying to get traction because I'm the best in the biz. I recognize that too. Lastly, I just don't know what Joe Budden seats mean, and because I have so much relationship equity with Fat Joe, I'll wait for him to tell me. I don't want to assume. On one hand, where I come from, you would want to be seated behind your enemy, if anything. Lastly, maybe Joe Budden seats just means sitting behind somebody you make a lot more than. Until we get clarity on it, we won't really know. I make a lot more than you. If I was sitting in the nosebleeds, I make more than you. Like, my seat should never come up in your conversation. If I was outside in a lawn chair watching on a mobile device, my seat shouldn't come up in none of y'all conversations. That was confusing a little bit, but to each his own.
Yeah, fam. And to be honest with you, like I said before, I think Joe Budden probably does have more money than Fat Joe. Fat Joe was in prison not too long ago for tax evasion. I just believe Joe Budden has way more sponsorship deals and more lucrative ones. But that's my opinion, I don't know. And the reason why I bring them up first is that the fact that you're speaking about another man's pockets is where you hurt a man the most. His ego, his pride, that testosterone. It's gonna kick in. You know Fat Joe only did this to build up the buzz for him and Jada's podcast anyway. I'm not saying it's now personal between these two. I think they're all cool. But when you start talking about who's got more money than the other, that's when people start trying to prove themselves, and then it may get personal. We don't know. It might get there, it might not. But do we really want to see our elder statesmen in hip-hop doing this? 50 Cent is a clear and obvious example of someone in their 40s, I think he might even be 50, going online, clowning other artists, doing what the youngsters should be doing, not people of a certain level in the game. Is it setting the right example? We've seen Cameron. I love Cam. Cam's one of my favorite rappers. He's not shy to get online and do some childish antics. These are all rappers born in the mid-70s, early 70s possibly. Are these rappers who are meant to be setting an example, instead of acting like the youngsters doing all these online shenanigans? Should somebody call them out? And at the same time, who should call them out? We see older rappers like Jay-Z, Nas. They're legends just like Fat Joe and Joe. Well, is Joe Budden a legend? Kinda. But these kind of rappers like Jay-Z and Nas are showing people how it's supposed to be. And you look at the generation before people like Nas and Jay-Z. They're not online doing all these antics to try and build up whatever businesses they've got. I would say that generation was more just hating on the 90s generation because they were getting more money. But maybe that's just the game these days. We are in an online era where you do need to speak about someone to generate the most interest for whatever you're pushing. And as long as it's not personal, as long as they're not being disrespectful, speaking about each other's family members and their kids, maybe it's fair play. Maybe it's just all part of the game. But these guys are from the era where if there was a problem with someone, you spoke to them on the phone privately, or you saw them in the street and handled it man to man. But it seems the norm even for the youngsters and the elders. They just handle it online, speak about everything that goes on in a private message online. I remember DJ Academics just recently did this with Mace. Academics was having issues with Cam and Mace co-host Treasure Wilson. Treasure Wilson said some stuff about Academics, and Academics responded. Then It Is What It Is Instagram page posted about Academics, saying, basically warning him. Academics went off on his stream, calling out Cam and Mace, and then Mace DM'd Academics, private message. And what Academics did, which to be fair, he always does this, he went online and read Mace's message on his stream. Now I don't know if Mace had a problem with that or maybe expected it, but what's wrong with just getting the message from Mace, telling your stream, hey, Mace contacted me and we all good? Why do you need to actually read out the message? Academics is not quite in the age I'm criticizing, the 40s and 50s, but he's still an older type of guy. He's in his probably mid-30s. Yeah, in my opinion, I just am a bit disappointed when I see older rappers doing the online game too much. I know that's how it is now, but I think there's rappers like Jay-Z and Nas, who I referenced earlier, they could easily do the same thing and make more money, but they decide to act their age and not just go for what's trending and what's gonna help get a buzz. And that's not shade at Fat Joe or Joe Budden, but these guys, their names are big enough. They don't need to do the online antics. A podcast with Fat Joe and Jadakiss is always gonna do numbers. But yeah, older statesmen in hip-hop playing online antics. What do you think about it? I wanna know your opinion. Get in the comments, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you like this content, hit that join button, join the community, receive exclusive content on this channel. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. Peace and love.